What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Fight Like Hell podcast, episode 80. Holy fucking shit, 80. 20 away from 100 when we can retire. Today is Saturday. Yes, we said Saturday, January 14th. I almost said June 14th in 2023, in case you're listening to us in 3023, exactly 1,000 years from now. I have to my left my heterosexual life mate, Austin, and below us his guest, Gabe. Austin, how are you?
Good. How you doing, man?
Great. Gabe, how are you?
Doing great.
Gabe, you're, from what I understand, a coffee guy. Would you mind
Yes.
telling our listeners just a little backstory about you?
Well, basically, the coffee thing came from we started a company called Real American Heroes Coffee Company,
Mm-hmm.
2018 after a deployment. I'm Air Force Reserve, so when you go on those 6-month deployments, you got nothing but time on your hands. So we just kind of came together. We were getting coffee from from Black Rifle, from Death Wish Coffee, and they were just we loved getting coffee. Being a firefighter in the military, just kind of sitting around the coffee table drinking it, like shooting it with the guys, and then it just came to an idea that we'll start this coffee company. So we started in 2018 with two of my best friends, and basically to where we are now, 4 years later. We've learned a lot. We've met a lot of good people. The mission behind our coffee company is basically sip on our serves. We tell hero stories on our podcast. Sorry, on our podcast, on our
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, through the podcast, like talking to people. So, but other than that, yeah, my name's Gabe, um, firefighter. I work for the city of Tempe here in Arizona, and then also Air Force Reserve for about 19 and a half years, working as a firefighter there as well. Married, two
Okay.
kids. So,
Sweet. Very sweet. We'll definitely get into firefighting stuff.
cool.
We'll we'll definitely get into that. I'll explain here in a minute. But first, we got to do our actual promotions. Our official two sponsors of the podcast, don't get mad at us, is one of them's a veteran-owned coffee company out of Arizona as well,
Perfect.
Invicta Coffee Co. Invicta is a coffee company out of Phoenix, Arizona. They are run by one of our good friends, Spencer, who's been on the podcast. He also gives a small a small portion of his proceeds over to mental health awareness programs for veterans and active duty. If you would like to save 10% on some really good coffee, head on over to Invictus Coffee Co. and use the promo code Fight Like Hell, all one word, Fight Like Hell, all one word, and you will save a little bit on some good coffee. Our next official sponsor of the podcast is PatriotCookies.co. They are out of sunny Florida and owned and ran by Johnny B. Tackfit. Johnny actually just was posting something on Patriot Cookies with Matt Best the other
I
day.
saw that.
Had some of his cookies in his hands, man.
That's
They've
because
been,
they used Black Rifle coffee in their cookies.
yeah,
Oh
so
wow.
fucking cool how much they've been blowing up. They're a great company. Their cookies are unique. They have healthy options all the way down to heavily inflated, sugary, delicious cookies. And if you would like to save 15% on some amazing cookies that will ship to your door, use the code Fight Like Hell, all one word, Fight Like Hell, and you will get some amazing cookies. All right, that's our promos.
That's awesome.
Okay. Okay, and then next we're gonna get into weekend adventures and what we did this weekend or this weekend, I guess, because since it is
Yeah, we're
Saturday and
in the weekend.
anything you did the past week.
Yeah, I
So
guess anything that you did last weekend or you got going on this weekend, Gabe. What you got?
Oh my
yeah,
gosh. It seems like we don't even get weekends anymore, having kids, and I'm part of the honor guard at work, so we got to go do a ceremony tomorrow. Show up and just do like for a firefighter that died in Tempe in the '70s. So we do a thing every year. So that's our big honor guard event that we're going to be doing tomorrow. Today, like I said, I just got done with the bike ride, just kind of relaxed, and I got my aunt and cousin coming over later, so be cooking dinner for them, and yeah, so just chilling, doing house stuff today, and then yeah, this past week with work, it was busy.
Mm-hmm.
City of Tempe is busy, so just that. I don't know. It just seems like it all blends into one. You don't really get a schedule. Just kind of you take each day on. So
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this is random, but if we hit it off on this podcast and you're around next Friday, I'm gonna be in Tempe.
really?
I'm going down to a Jason Banks comedy show down there. And,
Yeah.
and I actually have an extra ticket if you're interested in going. We can
I'll
talk
actually be
more
on.
offline, but I
Okay.
just thought of that. I was like, holy shit, I'm actually in Tempe next week.
Yeah.
I'll
So
be on shift, so you should roll out and see the station.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
something. Yeah,
or that. Like
you guys are
either
more than
way,
welcome to.
me and
Yeah.
my boss are driving down.
Cool.
So we'll be down there. We'll definitely talk more offline, and this is probably
All right.
boring our listeners, but when you said Tempe, I was like, wait, I'm there next
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
I
It'll
didn't even
work
think of
out.
that
Yeah.
too.
We have
Yeah,
something to
that's
talk
kind
about
of
next
cool.
time.
Yeah, I'll buy some coffee in person, and
Perfect.
we'll have to see if you're better than Spencer, and maybe you can move him out of the state.
Which one of you guys was drinking the coffee? Was it you, Austin? We were
For
saying
what?
when you messaged me and said you were drinking some of the coffee.
Oh yeah, no. I've looked at your coffee before. I haven't tried it yet. I've followed you guys and been familiar with your
Okay.
coffee for a while.
Man, and I love what you guys are doing.
We'll
too.
get some orders in.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, cool. So sounds like you had an eventful weekend. One question on your bike ride. How far did you ride?
I think it was about 7 miles.
Okay.
So
You use
yeah,
like
there's some trails
Strava?
up here. I just do it on like my my Apple Watch, just kind of recording myself.
Okay.
Okay.
My goal is I try to close my rings every day, 1,000 calories, whatever it takes to get there.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You should check out Strava. Like it's a free app. You don't have to pay for it. It's really good for people that like to run, hike, or bike. Or
Okay.
those are probably the three best ways to record.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll do like a detailed map of your route. You can share it to social media. You can have like a following where people like
Yeah,
follow
it's
you and
community
like your stuff.
Oh,
based.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's community based. It's really fucking cool. We use it. We started using it in March last year for one of the challenges that we did, where we had people competing for how many miles they could do in the month of March.
Okay.
So it's a dope app.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've downloaded it before, and I've because it sounds super familiar. But yeah, definitely recommending it.
Stay with the free version. Like you don't need
Okay.
the paid. Like the paid's not worth it. I don't think. Although I do have a couple biking friends that use the paid version, so maybe there's a little benefits. But I've stayed free for almost a year now, and I use it for all my hikes. I use it for snowboarding at Snow Bowl.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because like it'll calculate your miles per hour. So like on the bike, you know, it's gonna get how many miles an hour you're doing as well too. So
Oh, yeah.
it's pretty legit. Austin,
Nothing.
what did you do last weekend?
Fucking nothing.
Yeah, that's
Fucking nothing.
And what about this weekend?
Nothing. But you had an interesting day yesterday.
I think it was 2 days
Or no,
ago now.
it was 2 days ago. Yeah, because yesterday you were in
Thursday.
Flag.
Yeah. Would you mind pulling up my Instagram just that way so people can see it? It's on
No,
the highlight
I ain't
reel.
I ain't showing pictures.
Do it, man. It's cute as fuck.
How
So,
is Flag right now?
What's that?
I said, how is Flag right now? Is it lots of snow?
There's a decent amount of snow, and we're supposed to get here at the canyon and in Flagstaff because they're both at the same starting elevation of 7,000 feet.
Okay.
They're calling for anywhere from a foot to 4 feet of snow in between tonight till Monday afternoon. So,
Dang. We've been talking about
dude, if you come up, I got a season pass. I go out there quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. While he's pulling that up, I'll explain what Austin's about ready to show us.
Yeah.
So working for the park services is pretty fucking cool. Having a service dog is pretty fucking cool.
That's
but
awesome.
having a service dog that can go on heli flights with you is really fucking cool. So Allie got trained probably about 8 to 10 months ago at the helipad on how to like ride in a helicopter. But we had one of our missions scrubbed for I basically do IT here out the canyon, and I'm the network manager. So we go and set up Starlinks at remote sites. all across the South Rim, Inner Canyon, or on the North Rim. And we've been trying to do a mission down in the canyon at Indian Gardens, or the politically correct way to say it is now Hapasupai Gardens, because they took away that name. But Austin, pull it up so we can show Allie.
There is Allie.
How cool is that?
Yeah, so that's us getting prepped. You can skip this one and just keep going. That's us going out to the flight line. That's her all doggled up and
Look at her.
ready to go. And the next one should have us actually flying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's badass.
Yeah, it was sick. And they
Yeah, that's my favorite photo that you took.
Yeah,
That's
I know
dope.
you like that one, but like I don't care about that one. I like the ones with Allie. And but anyways, we went down there to set up a Starlink, and the cool thing about it was originally we had discussed that's her chilling at like a clinic. Oh, the internet speed was under a megabyte. It was like 600 kilobytes. We got it to range in between 18 on the low end all the way up to like 138 megabytes. And it's like huge for them because they're used to just having no service down there.
Wow.
They'll go down there and sometimes can only radio communicate back up to the rim, and they're down there for like 3 weeks at a time. So it was a huge deal. That's the helicopter
awesome.
coming back in. And the cool thing was originally we were going to fly her in like a crash proof kennel. And it was going to be super complicated to get it in the bird, and it's really heavy. But as you see on the bottom there's a yoga mat. So the pilot was really comfortable with her being chill on the flight, possibly. So they basically made like a strap, that red strap at the bottom, and then we did a tie down leash from her chest down to the floorboard. So she's strapped in and she's on a collar and a leash, and she was actually really good. She didn't panic at all. I thought she had been freaked out when we picked up in the air, but she did really good. She's been on a lot of like plane rides, which I think helps a lot too.
She's pooped that up, Dan.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's what she's doing right now. She's laying down in a little cozy cave next to me, sleeping.
That's awesome.
But yeah. So that was probably one of the coolest highlights. I think besides like hiking the canyon with her is pretty fucking cool. But like actually to be able for her to join us on a flight and for her to just behave so well, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. That's crazy to think. When I was younger, I used to volunteer when I was like 13 years old. I joined a search and rescue team out of Apache County because I'm originally from a like small town in eastern Arizona, Springerville. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, Round Valley. But they had like an after school program for search and rescue. Like you can join by the time you're 13. And we'd go look for lost suckers in the woods. And then they would send us out to the Grand Canyon for a couple of weeks during the summer. And we would help hike hikers out, would fly people out. And I was doing this at 13. That's what kind of got me interested in, helping initially. That's what's kind of crazy to see all those videos. It took me back to that. I have a picture from like a helicopter rescue we're doing. And like,
that's awesome.
So yeah.
Dude, that's legit. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Like the MPS has a program out here that takes volunteers, both youth and actual firefighters. Because one of my buddies who's a firefighter out in Denver came and stayed with me a month to do heli training out here.
Oh, that'd be badass. I would jump on that all day.
I mean, they
just need to do it.
Opportunities. They have opportunities. If you get with me after the podcast, I can reach out to him and see how he did it, because you might be able to get lucky and get a sponsorship for it and stay out here. Because I know it's not a paid gig. He didn't get paid while he was here. He volunteered his time, and his department had to like pay for some of the stuff because he was not working at the department. But he got valuable training to bring back to
That's
Denver.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. So speaking on that note, since you're talking about your experiences and how it kind of led to the progression of your career, tell us a little bit of your backstory. Tell us when you were born, how much you weighed.
Yeah,
And,
until now.
Ounce, 7
Until
ounce.
now. No,
Baby.
just give us a detailed story.
Yeah,
about
why
like,
you
your
why you joined the
upbringing.
military? What made
Yeah.
you join the military?
So, like I said, I grew up in a small town in eastern Arizona, born and raised. Springerville, like 2 stoplights kind of place, and then, which I'm happy now that I look back on. I'm happy. Like growing up in a small town, it just gives you that kind of that small town mentality, and I've been able to kind of keep that mentality. Talk to everyone, nice to everybody, wave at everybody. Everyone's like, "Why is this guy waving at me?" But
Especially in Phoenix.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
a
They're like,
huge,
I don't know what this guy's doing.
pretentious city.
Like hanging out. But no, and then yeah, like I said, in high school, I joined a youth search and rescue team. We would go look for lost hikers in the woods when I was around 13, and we did find a few, and we would go as far as like Albuquerque and stuff like that. And then when I was 16, there was a youth fire department program that came out that said they would let you on the fire department. You can kind of do it, like learn everything about it. So I jumped on that and I loved it for 2 years. Volunteer firefighting, like going into house fires, learning all about it. And then I joined the Air Force when I was 18. My best friend talked me into joining the Air Force. I did. He didn't. So.
Oh, what the hell? He talked you into it. And he didn't even join.
He was like, "Come on, man!" Like, because I was gonna do the Navy. Because my buddy's brother used to always call from like somewhere overseas and just be drunk the whole time. I was like, I want to be that guy. And I just thought it was the coolest thing. He'd be in a different country.
And then you joined the Air Force, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, joined the Air Force. So became a vehicle operator as my AFSC, I guess.
We call it MOS, but
yeah, same thing.
Yeah. So wait, a vehicle operator or
vehicle? Yeah, or ground transportation. It's changed since, but it was called vehicle operator back then. Vehicle operator dispatcher. And at that time in 2003 was when they were doing like the big offenses in Iraq and stuff like that. So they're pulling our AFSC to do line haul gun trucks over there, which I didn't realize. So I got in that. I was stationed in Japan, Misawa, Japan first.
Misawa's dope.
Yeah, Misawa was cool. If you like snowboarding, that's some good snowboarding.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm referring to. Like, there's epic snow out there.
I got 10% on my shoulder from the hills up there. It still clicks.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there's a Japanese guy that just came up. He's like pulled my arm down, popped it back in. So I was like, it seems good, but that's where I found out I was a terrible snowboarder. Just kidding. No, and then yeah, so it was cool. Then we deployed from there, 04, 05 to Iraq, doing the gun truck mission. So, Air Force guy, like not knowing anything about the military, just kind of just joined. We got to see some combat as like, we're attached to Army units. We're getting, we had a V bed one time. We had IEDs all the time. We had a couple of people shot on missions, and it was eye opening. So did that 04, 05, and then
that's a rough time. So that puts you at probably what, like 37?
Yeah, 37.
Yeah.
Hey, good job. You can do math.
Yay.
Well, I mean, he's like his time frames are like 2-3 years after mine. So like,
yeah,
because I was in Iraq, Afghanistan in 2003, 2004, but I also came in the year before. So like in my head, I was like, first off, by the way, you look fucking amazing.
Yeah, you don't look like you're 37.
I
would
have guessed you're like 26, dude. Like,
I was like, maybe he's 30.
When you start saying the numbers, I'm like, holy shit, he's like my age. Like he's maybe like a couple years younger than me.
I can start seeing the white hairs from my kids. I think that's definitely from them.
Yeah, it's definitely from the kids. How many kids do you have?
Or the wife. One of the two.
No, two.
Oh,
yeah,
and the wife. Definitely the
yeah,
wife.
that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Sorry for cutting you off. I was just like,
no.
Shit, this guy's way older than I thought he was, but you look great. So
yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's been amazing. And like the people there that around that time frame, like the 04, 05, kind of like that's when that big offensive happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Fallujah, so we were part of that. We're kind of like retaliation. That we're line hauling like fuel to like Marine bases, and it was wild. It was a wild time. Then got out. Yeah, came back, and then got stationed at Luke Air Force Base. So right back home in '06, and then '07 I got out of active duty, and just I've been reserved for the rest of the time. So
out in Arizona.
Yep.
Okay, and then do you still do that same, what you guys call it, AFC or AFEC?
No, so yeah, I eventually I think in 2013 I went over to firefighting, to the AFSC firefighting. Crash fire.
Gotcha.
It was like, yeah, it was like starting all over again, all over, because
yeah,
they have so many.
That's a cool career field, man. Like,
I mean, it's something you can use in your everyday life compared to like some that aren't civilian applicable compared to like a firefighter.
Yep. Exactly, and then that's the way it's like the certificates work with each other, and it's like I get to do what I love, both civilian and firefighting. It's all I've ever known, honestly. That's what I tell people. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to do anything else. It's like I know firefighting.
Okay.
Yeah. I was a firefighter up in Alaska.
Really?
Up at near Fairbanks and near like Eielson Air Force Base. So we would I was doing volunteer firefighting. In Alaska, they do like level 1, level 2. Once you're level 2, you can switch over to like full-time service, get a paid position, or go GS and work for like the DOD doing firefighting. And it's a very long, boring, convoluted story, but it's a cool career field is what I'm getting at. Like it was the only thing that I found camaraderie in that was comparable and had some things that were better and some things that were worse than doing what I did in the military. Like I was,
exactly.
So it's just
I understand that 100%. It's like because what you kind of go on over there, like you go through stuff where it's like you're depending on people next to you to save your life, and it's like not a lot of jobs you can come out out of the military and find something like that. So that's why we're attracted to stuff like that.
Yeah. And the cool thing about it, like when I got out the first time, like I got out at the beginning of like 2005, I started like on a police officer route because I was infantry and did a lot of crazy shit. Got out, wanted to do the police work stuff. It didn't work out where I ended up fully pursuing it. Like I dropped out of the I can't remember what they call it, but it's the point where you've already been hired by a place and you're actually doing not the ride-alongs.
It's like
field training officer, FTO.
Yeah, FTO.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in the FTO phase, and I ended up deciding it was not for me, and we had a mutual agreement to leave. Fast forward several years later, got recalled to the Army, deployed to Afghanistan, got back, moved to Alaska, was trying to find work or whatever because I had some college and I really wanted to get back into like some sort of service of helping and protecting people. And that's when I did fire service, and it was night and day. And you probably know as well, comparison to being like a police officer. You go places and people actually give a fuck about you and like you and want to see you, or you're there to in a time of dire need to perform medical. And it's a completely different feeling, especially in today's modern world where unfortunately like police officers are hated on pretty hard. So like I think it's cool, like the line of work you chose. And
I think about that all the time. I'm like, I work with police departments. Like I help like buddies teach like medical classes and stuff. And it's like, man, I thought I deal with stress. I can like, cause I work as a medic too, like a, firefighter, paramedic. And you just like, the stress you deal with is like, it's just, I don't know. I guess I train so much that like, I don't think about it. It just kind of takes over. But then I look at what a police officer would have to deal with in making those split-second decisions.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild.
So what made you decide to become a firefighter?
I don't know. Like I said, I was naturally attracted to it. I remember like when I started volunteering when I was 16, and then I remember my very first experience with like kind of the fire department. It was like my first day on the volunteer department, and then they put a hose line next to me, and they were doing like they were gonna fill up this house with smoke, but they were using like oil, like motor oil or something. So I was like, I don't know, it seems legit. And then so they set this thing on fire, and they're like, hey, if you see any fire, just put it out. So I'm sitting there. Next, I see the curtains go up, and then like the window kind of blow out, and I'm like, it's like, should I spray it now or something like that? And then I remember this guy kicks the door, and like the flames shoot him out and everything, and I was like, oh man, I love this job. That's kind of how I got attracted to it. And then it's just ever since then, it's just, I don't know, I fell in love with it.
Okay, and you've been doing it for how long now?
Man, over 20 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
With the account, like my volunteer time and all that.
How does that work out with active duty versus reserve time towards like accruing a retirement?
It still works. Like, so Arizona's pretty good about with our retirement, especially the city. We do like Arizona PS, PRPS, whatever. So all that time counts. So when I got back from my last deployment, I was able to buy back 4 years of military, which upped my time in the retirement system for the fire department. So I'm at 16 years total in the fire department, just from buying that time back and stuff like that. So it like I said, it all works hand in hand with each other. And then, I bought 4 years back, so it's 4 less years I have to work as a firefighter. So
that makes sense. What about? But you're accruing time on the reserve side too.
Oh,
that's
for your
what
active.
I was referring to. Like that was my question actually.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. So
it's all good.
Yeah. So it's a point system. It's like a point system where you get like so many years of service and your time rank and all that stuff. Like every every like 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year, it all accrues to like a certain amount of time. So it's not great, but it's something, and you can't get it till you're 52. But the more time you spend and everything like that. So
okay, so they just take your actual time on is what they take and accrue it that way.
Yep, and it's just a point system. Like, because if you look at even though I've been in 20-some years, they'll say that all my time combined is like 6 years something, almost 7 years.
Right, because it's only 1 weekend at 1 week in a month. Okay.
And then these TDYs and stuff like that. So
okay.
Where's your favorite places that you've gone, either TDY or been stationed then?
Actually, Alaska was one of them. We went to
where?
We went to what's the main base down there?
Elmendorf?
J-Bear.
Yeah, and I'm an idiot. Earlier I meant to say the Fairbanks one, not Elmendorf. I can't even think what
Eielson, right?
Yeah, Eielson is in Fairbanks. Maybe I said that, but Elmendorf is in Anchorage.
Yes, Anchorage.
How long were you out there, and what time of the year?
That was a 2-week thing, and then we usually go during the summer. So man, it was. That was the first time seeing the sun actually like come down and like skim the sky and come right back up.
Yeah, then it just comes right back up.
Yeah, you don't get darkness.
Yeah,
you go to the Alaskan Bush Company over there, and it's like
ABC.
You see what the girls look like? Like, oh man, I gotta get out of here.
Oh shit! For those listeners that don't know what Alaskan Bush Company is, it is the local strip club in Anchorage, Alaska.
Oh,
geez. One here in Arizona still open?
What's that?
There was one here.
Yeah, because the owners were from like Phoenix, Arizona, I think.
Yeah, so that was like another weird coincidence.
Yeah, that's wild. Like, God, ABC. Oh.
Yeah.
How much time did you spend in that, Rob?
Honestly, I think I've been like 2, maybe 3 times, because it was so bad, and then the only times it was good were during tourist season. They might like bring people in or whatever, versus like the normal population. Like, I'm assuming there are pretty girls in Alaska, but like
the ratio is terrible.
I lived there for 7 years. That's where Allie's from too. Let's just say that it's like there's like 8 dudes for every 10 people. So like 2 girls, it's like a 20% ratio, 80% male. And most of the women that come up there, they're up there for like hardcore jobs, and they might be into women themselves. So it wasn't the best choice. I found my
You're saying bikini models aren't in Alaska?
not so much. Yeah,
They're even
I
more
definitely
rare.
think
Yeah.
you can strike gold up there, like physical gold, but I feel like I found my gold in Texas, where my fiance is from. So
Oh, look at that, Rob.
There you go.
yep, there we go. Slide in there, Amanda.
I see that.
Love you. I know you're listening to this.
Oh,
It's like, what did he do at those strip clubs? Nothing. They
Long
were
time
all
ago.
ugly. I promise. They
Yeah.
were all very ugly.
There's something that makes you feel guilty about coming out when it's like still daylight outside of a strip club.
Oh
You're like,
yeah,
it's 3 in the morning.
I used to, because my parents were East Coast. I used to go out to the bars out there, and during the summertime, they had a couple like patio bars, like rooftop patio bars. So you're out there, the sun goes down a little bit after midnight, and then it's like popping back up at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So I'm like leaving the bar at like 3 o'clock in the morning, drunk dialing my parents on the East Coast because it's 4 hours ahead. They're getting up. And they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm up. It's sunny out. It's beautiful out. It's a beautiful new day." And they're like, "Why aren't you in bed?" I'm like, "The sun's out. Why would I be in bed?" So, yeah, Alaska's cool, especially that time of year. Yeah,
I want to
Yeah.
go back. I definitely want to go back.
dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you could probably arrange like TDYs out there, right? Or
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. We just get hit. Like we got hit with England again this year. We're gonna be going in July.
Going to
a-
Oh,
England.
Yeah, there's
nice,
a huge
nice.
airfield out there. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I've been once before, and that was probably one of the top trips. Probably like military trips.
Is that Lakenheath?
It's called Fairford, so it's a smaller military base. So it's not one of the big ones. There's only about
Okay.
10 like U.S. military on base that run it, but it's like one of the longest runways, or one of the bases with the longest runways or something. So they have air shows there.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
For-
and it's yeah.
What I was gonna say though, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
For
you're
our
good.
listeners, explain like what your primary job as a firefighter and on the Air Force side, because it's
Yeah.
usually, and correct me
Okay.
if I'm wrong, it's a lot different
Oh
than
yeah,
the
100%.
civilian side.
Oh, it's way different than civilian.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's like our biggest thing is protecting the aircraft. My career, I've been around, fighters my whole career. Like F-16s when I was stationed in Japan, that was like our biggest one. And then here now at Luke, we have the F-35s and the F-16s, and so yeah, just basically just not knowing your job is firefighting. So like we do the structural, we still do like house fires and everything. You got to learn the whole ARC portion of it, and then you got to know everything about those jets too, the munitions, and just on them they have like these auxiliary power units that are, can be dangerous if they're shot off, and radioactive kind of thing. So there's a lot of dangers that go with that, and it's just knowing a lot more. And then I just promoted in October to master sergeant. So like you're acting as almost like a chief operations officer, so just running the fire scene. So
It's a fake master sergeant though. You guys are like E7s or
yeah,
whatever.
your
It's
master
not-
sergeants are way different.
Ours is like E8. You took
Super
our
scary.
staff sergeant and made him an E5, and then you take our E8s and you make them an E7.
Your system's all fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
understand like most people's other ones, but
I'm asking Austin to bring up a Air Force firefighter suit, because like those things
Oh.
are fucking crazy looking. But go on explaining like
the baked potato suit.
Yeah. how
So
hot
these
is
things are-
that during the summer?
Oh my gosh. Well, they reflect. They're supposed to reflect radiant heat, but they have those big old, like.
Well, they're supposed to.
Yeah, they're like made out of like spacesuits or whatever. But no, we're phasing out of those things. Luckily,
Are you?
I dealt with those majority of my career, and it's like, and when you put them on, they actually don't seem heavy. They seem like they're literally made out of tinfoil. They seem light. You're like, I don't know how this can protect me. But
I
then
mean,
I'll-
they look like they're made out of tinfoil.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Yeah, because like your bunker gear, like I wore bunker gear as a firefighter, and the bunker gear is fucking heavy and
Oh yeah.
warm, whereas that's really light.
It feels like lighter, yeah. I think it's just designed that way, but it's obviously the
Mhm.
biggest thing. It's supposed to reflect fuel. That's the thing is like, if there's fuel
Mhm.
fires, that's the biggest. But yeah, those things were, and it was actually proven. I guess there was a study that said like the turnout gear,
Mhm.
that maybe the tinfoil stuff was maybe like protecting a few degrees more. So there's like cost benefit. It wasn't really serving what it needed to do. But
So what's the model name? Maybe Austin can find it. What's the new stuff that you guys are wearing now or are going to be wearing?
um, I think we just do like line apparel or something like that. It's
It's
like
called Line Apparel.
I think so. I'd have to look at my turnouts. We got, yeah, we got to, because I get confused with work and stuff like that. But they're all designed at the same specs by the end of it. So, and then
Okay.
this just looks more of like the more modern firefighting kind of thing out there, which is good because you don't need two sets of turnouts for, on one shift. Because we'd have to put our structural stuff on the structural side and the aircraft stuff on the aircraft side.
Oh shit. Yeah, that would make sense because because if you're going to a structure fire, you're not going to wear the other one. The
Right,
Yeah,
one that
because
you would wear
that's
for
made
like
for
a plane
fuel.
crash.
so you would
Yeah.
have two sets of turnouts just for one shift, depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, because what I was fishing for there was, your guys' primary mission, is obviously like protecting the planes and stuff like
Mhm.
that, and then which is a lot different than the civilian side of firefighting,
Oh yeah.
where the primary mission is going to be structural. Also, a lot of people don't know this, and maybe your exact numbers, but in Alaska, our medical to fire ratio was
Oh my
like
God.
I think it was like 80% medical, 20% fire.
Same, 80% what we do, and it's only increasing. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because more people, call, and then they just send out a fire truck for medical. I mean, because it's just easier for you guys, because that way you're not sitting around eating chili all day.
we'll still
That's
do
the
that
best
anyways. But
part. That's
I
the
know.
best
They
part.
just sit
Like
around in the
the
sit around in the kitchen, fucking eating chili and
the
fucking making
morale.
food.
Oh
Yeah.
we
man,
make some of
the
the best
morale
chili.
of not the morale of
Hey,
not having a
firefighters make some
call.
of the best food. I will agree with that. Like
Yeah.
firefighters make some of the best food.
One
Yeah.
of one of the craziest things that I did see when I was at Alaska, one of the fire stations, a guy brought in a grizzly head in Alaska. Like he shot this thing and he sat on it for like 2 days until someone came and helped him. But they
Oh
made some good kill
jeez.
out of it, out of the
I
skull.
bet.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll eat anything.
No, that was my favorite thing was like trading shifts with someone to work like 48 or whatever, having like a low call volume, especially like that
Mhm.
last night where maybe there's no calls, you don't get toned out at all, getting to like watch movies and like chill in like your bunk
Do
area and
whatever.
like hang out, eat really good food, not get toned out in the middle of the night, wake up the next day fully rested and go and be off for like the next like 3 or 4 days.
Yep, that's it. Yep, that was
Yeah.
like my last shift, and then I'm on my 4 day right now. So I don't go
Oh,
back.
nice, nice, nice. So how many shifts do you guys have? Like three, four,
Yeah.
like teams, like shift teams.
Oh, three, A, B, and
Three.
C
Okay.
shift. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's standard, I guess. I mean, I only know Alaska, so if I'm wrong on something, correct me. But yeah, it was three. It was an A, B, and C in Alaska as well. So,
Yeah, we went
cool.
to Anchorage Fire Department while we were there too. So they ran pretty similar to what we do, civilian side, with the time off and all that.
What year were you up there?
Uh, it would probably have to be about 2016.
Okay. Yeah, I was living out there then. One of my buddies from Fairbanks ended up moving down there and was a captain down there. Hunter McConnell, I think is his last name. Yeah.
Okay, and but yeah, like I said, like we were talking about. It's crazy that the difference between the civilian side and the Air Force side for firefighters.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
Switching rooms.
Yeah, I heard the family coming home. So
Oh,
Tell us about
you're like, hurry,
the
run.
coffee company. Tell us about the coffee company. How that
Yeah.
yeah,
got started.
Why'd you start it? What made you start? Why coffee?
yeah.
Bring
So it
up
was
his
kind of
website too, please, Austin.
Oh well.
yeah. We've been I've always wanted to do a business. My best friend Dave Martin, he's one of the other co-founders. We've came up with stuff before. We've started like wholesaling businesses. We've done I think we tried another t-shirt business or something. But when he was deployed with me, he would always come with me to have coffee at the fire station. We're just like, let's make our own bags because, like, we would hear stories from people that were, telling us really cool stories that were like heroes, like, firefighting or military. And it's just like, how can we make this a company or a product that basically tells a story that has something that people enjoy? So yeah, we just came. By the time we came home, we started working with a local roaster, and then creating custom bags. And right now, we're doing the customization for nonprofits, for individuals, and then we got our blends that obviously like honor heroes like police officers, firefighters, military. Um, and then just the whole journey has just been meeting people, telling their stories, and it's actually been really neat. Um, yeah, because everyone has a story, and everyone. Yeah, there you go. There's some of our blends. That's our most recent one, the Angels on Patrol. They're on the left hand side.
Tell us
Shoot.
about that one. Like, what type of flavor profile is it? It's obviously it says a medium roast.
Yeah, that one's really good. It's a breakfast blend, and it has like some chocolate notes. It has like some nut notes. And all the coffee beans that are roasted, we only go with a certain type of bean that are like it's approved. Our roasters just it's hand selected. It's like it's from all around the world. Like they fly in from Central America, South America. They work hand in hand with the farmers. Um, and then they have beans from Africa, from Central America, Mexico. So we get such a wide taste of like an actual bean from around the world, and we just work with people. We ask them what they want, medium, dark, light, and then we just we select from there. And then it's been fun, just learning all
Yeah.
about coffee, not knowing anything initially. So
Okay. And what's your guys' most popular?
I'd say the jet fuel. That one's for
Jet
like our
fuel.
Air Force
Okay.
heritage. Yeah, that was actually I was sitting in Virginia on a TDY, and we're watching the F-22s go by and like the couple of the F-35s, and it's like, I was like, how cool would it be to have a coffee that just like is so dark that reminds me of jet fuel. So, yep, that's to our Air Force heritage.
Okay. And then
No,
what were you gonna say, Rob? Go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, what made you decide to do like coffee? I don't know if you like why coffee.
Um, I think just kind of, I don't know, I like Rob will probably know this, kind of sitting around the fire department, like or at the table at the fire station, like in the morning when you're drinking coffee, like people are kind of coming in, coming out, and
Mm-hmm.
that's when we say that we solve the world problems. And then I'd always go over to my grandparents too when I was younger, and like they would always serve me coffee. That was always coffee made. So it was like, I guess personally, I guess that's kind of how I'm attached to it. I feel like, and then another thing was when I would meet people or come to a meeting, I'd bring them a bag of coffee, and it was just kind of people love coffee. They would just smell it, and they're like,
Oh
oh
yeah.
man, you know. And
Yeah.
it's just kind of
Coffee brings people together for sure.
yeah. And then I guess that's the best way to describe it. But it's just always been a part of my life, and it's just I'm like, how hard can it be to roast coffee? Which it really is. Which I'm glad we work with a roaster. It really good, but and just I will shout out to Black Rifle for opening that veteran-owned kind of coffee, opening that door for us, and more and more are coming out, which is awesome. But we've been collabing with people, and it's just like we all understand we're all in the same kind of mission. So just telling stories and doing what we can to serve good
Okay.
coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
And go ahead, Rob.
So what are some of your, like, I guess, unique flavor profiles, or like just tell us more about like some of these bags of coffees, like flavors you'd recommend, or like
I would. So you see that right there to the right, the bombshell espresso.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Click
one
on
of
it.
the bags. Yep, we deliver in beans only, and they're just espresso beans that are fresh roasted. And then
Okay.
my wife actually named that the bombshell blend.
Okay.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
kind of honor badass women and the stuff they do. If you look at the pictures over, I think the middle picture is our friend Jess. She's actually in the Air Force with us. So
Okay.
she was one of our first models. See, deploying, working with the dogs. She's helped us with events and stuff like that. And
Nice.
she has an awesome story. She's one of those ladies that's just so cool to be around. And then she's been on like TV shows and stuff like that. So she has her own journey going on. But yeah, we love to work with her, and she's supportive. And we
Mhm.
had one of the first raw parties at her house. So
Nice. So you said you guys do events and stuff, right?
oh yeah.
Okay. What kind of events do you guys do?
So we're selling here at a Scottsdale Gun Club. It's in Scottsdale, and then we work with them. They sell our bags there, and then we've done events like uh, um, they do like a lot of veteran things, like the Mark Lee
Mhm.
event that we do. We did a special blend for them. So with Mama Lee and everything, like all the SEALs will come out that were involved in that, and they just do a thing on his birthday and remember, and we'll set up coffee and do stuff like that. And we've just done a bunch of events out there. It eventually ends up going to like a shooting thing, or and then we also set up we set out at golf tournaments, just serving coffee. The most recent one we did was for a police tournament for the Angels on Patrol, where we just did that bag for them, and just stuff like that, just kind of making just any way we can give coffee to serve heroes. That's basically our mission and what we try to do. So
Okay. And then another thing that we like to cover on this podcast is we talk a lot about mental health.
oh yeah,
And I know with like being, not only, veteran but being a, military, I mean not military, but firefighter, you guys deal with a lot of stuff day to day. How do you deal with your like mental health? How do you deal with like the day to day of, you know, being a firefighter?
oh yeah, I've had to learn the hard way to kind of leave stuff at work. I would bring a lot of stuff home with me, and it wasn't healthy. And I did go through the process of seeing a psychiatrist and getting on pills or whatever else, and it makes you numb. Like been through that
Mm-hmm.
whole process, and it's not me, it's not who I was, and it's so what changed is, like I said, just leave stuff at work. A lot of meditation, stuff like that, and I believe in a lot of that stuff, and then just starting the business, and it's like we realize we can't stress over stuff that's not in our control, and when it's I always say there's like four different versions of me. There's like there's military Gabe, Air Force Gabe, family Gabe, and then like raw Gabe. So it's just like you just got to know when to you can't let stuff follow you from each thing, and it's just you got to be there, you know, living in the moment, if that makes sense.
No, 100. I 100% understand that and agree with that. Like living in the moment, like you said, especially in the beginning, like it's hard to not bring it home.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to leave it there because, especially with some things you see, like it just eats away at you. Like you can try your hardest not to bring it home, and it's always gonna be there in the back of your mind. Like what
Yeah,
you did that day and what you saw, like, and especially with having a wife and kids, it's
exactly.
hard because, and the hardest thing is you want to protect them, the best you can. You don't want to bring it home because you don't want them to see you being affected, by the things that you do at work. What do your kids? Obviously your kids know what you do for work, but like how do they know like the extent or like how much do you share with your kids about like the day to day stuff? How old are your
They,
kids, by the way?
they get so 8 and 4. So they're
Okay, so
my
they're young.
oldest is yeah, and she's super curious about like what we do. Like I'll come home and
Hmm.
talk about a call, and I won't go into like too many details if it's gory or something like that. But
Right.
and it's not a secret, kind of like what I do, and it's just I just you just got to use it as kind of like a teachable experience. Just like this is why I always tell you girls to be careful around whatever, be careful playing in the street, going on your own, and it's you know it just makes you more aware, makes you more cautious, and it's just I don't know, but they are interested, which is pretty funny.
Oh yeah, I mean they're especially at that age. There's. Oh hey, look at that.
Yeah, that's cool.
What you got there, Rob? I saw Rob grab something. Where'd you get that from, Rob?
Just so you don't think I'm bullshitting.
Look
Oh
at that.
shit!
That's when I worked for North Star, and then I got my little Proby when I was a recruit.
Oh,
I don't think I've ever seen that, Rob.
Yeah, no, I keep it like in my like memory room, and then that was like my shift lead, and that's
That
when
doesn't
I
even
had,
look like you.
I know
Like
it
you look
looks
so.
crazy.
Yeah.
look at that gnarly
Yeah.
mustache. I wish it.
Oh,
That's
dude,
that's-
I wish I
he
had
had,
hey,
he had a
that's-
badass mustache.
That's that firefighter mustache, you know.
Should get it to not reflect. That should help.
That's badass.
Yeah, that was
Dude,
that
that's
was
so cool.
AJ. Yeah, I walked by it. I was like, "Oh shit, there's my fucking helmet." I was like, "Yeah."
That's awesome.
And then,
Dude, I still have my original helmet.
dude, you know about this? Like, did you guys do this at your department for like putting your name in places like
Oh yeah,
on boards for like what do you guys call this again?
Par tags.
And that, can you explain that? Because I'll butcher it. It's been like 10 years.
It's just like an accountability system. It goes back to like super old school. Like they'll literally like you put these par tags onto this little it's like a little, we call it a passport. And if you pull a hose line off the truck, they go and literally just hang that passport on your hose line so they know who's in there. It's pretty old school, but it works. It's effective.
It's quick accountability. That way, you know who's in the fire, who's actually like fighting in the structure fire, or if they're back at like the vehicle, if I remember correctly. Like,
yep. If I say this guy pulled this line, I'll hang their passports on it, and I know who's in there fighting the fire.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I was like, "Oh shit, there's my firefighting helmet."
Now we
wasn't
can tell
bullshitting, like,
Rob wasn't lying.
yeah. I
No,
wasn't
that's
just
cool.
like making that story up. Although that does not look like me. So like,
That,
maybe I am
I mean,
lying.
you can tell it's you, but it's baby Rob.
Yeah. That's when I was like 29, I think 28.
Yeah,
I
I'm
had
baby Rob.
just got out of the military a second time.
It's 15 hours.
That's cool. See, everyone has a story. It's like that's what's like.
Yeah. No, and that's what we love about this podcast is like we get to have unique people on, and people have heard this ad nauseum from us by now, but people like you are what makes the show unique and cool. Like we love when we have our guests on because yes, you have a coffee company, but you're a different person than Spencer, even though Spencer is one of our fucking like really good friends and a sponsor of the podcast. And it's cool, like over the past year to see how much that like the veteran coffee company industry, I've seen a lot that are respectful to other veteran coffee companies.
Oh
yeah.
Where they're not like out throat for throat trying to like, fuck this company or whatever. Like it's really cool. And I'm definitely gonna need to order some of your stuff because
we'll hook you up.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyone
Maybe I'll order
listening-
some stuff and grab it when I'm down there in Tempe next week.
Okay, we'll have to do a code for you guys. If you guys are up for that or something like that.
I'm down.
Yeah, always down.
We're definitely down to push some business your way.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're here for. We're down to help, promote people and help people out any way we can. I mean,
no, you guys, it's cool. Like coming on, talking to you guys and just like kind of like understanding, like, it's hard to explain to someone like a military background, like, like civilian, but it's like you guys understand, and it's like we like our timelines match up and like stuff you're doing in the canyon. I was like, man, this is cool. It's like,
Yeah.
and that's why we bring people on. Like we've had so many people on just because it's a breath of fresh air for a lot of people. And like you said, most civilians don't understand. Like you can tell them stuff and, they're like, yeah, that's cool. But it's different when you're actually talking to somebody who's been through the same exact stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, it's cool because we're just having conversation, and it's like, how many similarities do we have when we talk about like, coincidences? Like I'm a big believer that you meet people on purpose. There's no coincidences and stuff like that. And so cool. That's me getting my hippy dippy stuff, my meditation and everything. But I believe it. I honestly believe it. So
spot on. go into it's like if you didn't already, because I know Austin asked you a couple questions when I walked away to let my buddy in because we're getting ready to watch the fights tonight.
That's cool.
Tell us more about like your meditation process and how you got into it, how long you were doing it when you started versus now, because meditation is tough is what I'm getting at.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I probably started 3 years ago, and I got
Okay.
more kind of interested in because when you start like thinking of your thoughts, you're like, why am I so like I would get really stressed about stuff that hasn't occurred yet, and I'm like, so if I'm stressing myself out about something that hasn't occurred, why am I thinking this? Compared to why can't I make myself happy or like same like that? Because it's all like kind of how your thought process is. So just the meditation just basically helped me be more aware of my thoughts. You know, I basically stopped that medication, stopped taking it, and and then just finding stress, and then just enjoying little things like going on the bike rides, going hiking, taking advantage, like spending time with your family, not bringing stuff home from the fire department or for the military, and it's like, and another thing I always say, like, the stress and everything, like on deployments and everything, that's all temporary. You just do your best while you're there, and it's like no reason to stress yourself out. This most recent, I actually got back from deployment in 2020. And it wasn't, people make fun of me, but it was just to New Jersey for the Afghan refugee thing. So when they were flying all the Afghan refugees out, part of Operation Allies Welcome, they needed people over there, so they were just pulling. I think they pulled 5,000 active duty military, which on deployment orders at a 2.5 week notice. And I went to New Jersey, and they had a refugee camp set up there with almost 20,000 refugees. So we literally had to feed them, clothe them, teach them classes. I was running the fire department there. It was more of like inspections. We're having to inspect how they live. So
Okay, and was that before COVID or right after?
this was right after. So
Okay.
it kind of settled down, and then we ended up having to wear our masks again over there. So we were dealing with that the whole time we were there. And then also just, yeah, all the Afghan refugees coming in, they had to. So, but it was different. You never know what you're gonna do or what's gonna happen. So,
Yeah,
but
no, like I said, I mean everything's different, especially when when you're a firefighter. Like it's not you're not the normal front of the line infantry big bad guys. I mean you're still as important, but it's just a different job.
yeah, exactly. And then, yeah. So like I ended up meeting a couple friends over there that were kind of into like a little bit more meditation and stuff like that and free time, and so just yeah, it's just always I carried on, and then yeah, just here now, and it's just I feel good, I feel healthy, just starting
Okay,
off
and
the
how long
new
do you meditate for?
not long, probably about 15-20 minutes at the most.
Okay.
I feel
Yo,
like
that don't glaze over that like that's fucking simple, man. Like, dude, I've tried meditation over the years, and my question to that is how did you get to that like 15-minute point where we're comfortable doing it? Because I've tried to do like hour classes, which was way too fucking much. But I
your mind
struggle
is
with more than like 5 to 10 minutes.
I just do. I start off with YouTube, like those guided meditations, and then they'll talk you through it and make you
Oh.
aware. And it's just like because if I try to do
Rob
it on
Rob
I'm
hates YouTube.
stuff from.
I just don't watch it enough. But I would do it for like meditation. I have anger issues. I need to work on them.
You do? I had no idea.
Yeah.
I did see they're trying to look for like psychedelics to treat PTSD, like VAs doing studies and
Oh,
stuff.
they've been messing with all that stuff for years.
Yeah, it's like,
But that's a good thing.
yeah.
If they would approve it at like the federal and state level though, because I'm pretty sure you run into this, like you're a state employee, so you're obviously more than likely drug tested just as much as I like a federal employee. I'm drug tested as well.
And it's yeah, that's a whole different thing here, especially being like Arizona, Alaska, like or Oregon, or where everything's like legal, and it's just but
Oh yeah. Oh, Austin does all the drugs.
Oh,
Like,
everything's
he's
legal here.
always on drugs. Like
Everything's
he does
legal here.
meth.
no, but I'm interested in where this is going, and it's like I love to follow it, and it's like if it's something beneficial for veterans with PTSD, and you know,
Mhm.
I don't know if they're gonna put you on a full blown ayahuasca trip, but it's at least they're
Fuck
they're
it.
looking at it.
Do it.
Hey,
Right? Let's do it.
hey, it might help. You never know.
No, it
Yeah.
seriously, like I was listening to his name's Bradley. Give me a sec. I'll look up his exact name, but he's a
Jeez,
fitness
hurry up,
dude.
Rob.
He's a fitness dude, and he is like big on Instagram. Bradley. Of course, he's like Bradley
You're
Martin.
talking about. I was about to say Bradley Martin. I was like, that's the only Bradley that's huge in the fitness industry.
Yeah. Fucking giant muscle dude.
Muscles.
Muscle dude. And he had a lot of like anger issues, and he did an ayahuasca trip recently, and one of his like big problems is his dad committed suicide when he was like 6 years old. So
Mhm.
he's
wow.
had like long lasting ramifications for it, where he's always felt like he's need to like prove himself to someone. He hasn't had like a father like figure, and that's why he got like crazy into the gym. And
Steroids are the answer.
oh yeah, steroids are always the answer. But he, according to like his employees that work for him and like people at like Full Send that also do a lot of collaborations with him, they would talk about like his anger issues and how much they've changed since he did his ayahuasca trip.
I've heard it some firefighters.
That's what Rob needs. That's what you need, Rob. You just need to do an ayahuasca trip.
Sorry, Alex. Boy.
Oh, you're good. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's all crazy. Like I said, we appreciate having you on, and so I don't know. Well, Rob disappeared. He wanted to talk. Are you into sports at all?
Oh yeah, I watch football and.
Okay. Do you do fantasy football or anything?
Oh yep. We do the fire department fantasy football league every year. So
okay. Yeah.
I thought I was gonna kill it this year, but then I don't know. I just gave up after mid-season. It was bad.
Would you want to talk about fantasy football, Rob?
I won my fantasy league as Allie brings back in the toy.
Oh,
my
fine.
buddy Amir is
fine.
like trying to. She might squeak a little bit, but
It's
she
fine.
went out there. All right. Anyways, so I won this year, which is crazy because the situation was kind of fucked. So we're gonna call it as a win with an asterisk, because so as everyone knows, there was that big injury with
Damar
Hamlin, which ultimately ended up canceling that game. He had two players in. He had Stephon Diggs, which is a really good wide receiver. And he also had Knox in, who's a tight end who's terrible and or good sometimes. Like he'll get you 0 points or he'll get you like 8. I had Jason Allen left, but he was my only player. I was up by 7 points. By the time they called the game, the gap was only 2 points. So there was a chance that he was going to come back and win. So it put me in this really awkward position where I was like, okay, like what the fuck are we going to do? Because if I say that we should just call this league the way it is right now, it's going to look super biased because I'm in first place and I'm going to win the huge pot of money. So I talked to Amanda that morning, and I talked to my buddy Seth, who also runs a fantasy league, and Amanda helped me come up with like the perfect wording where I basically just put it out to a vote. And I gave the league 2 options. I said, we're not going to play a week 18. Like I eliminated that because yes, it was 2 teams that hadn't played, but the majority of the teams had played. Majority of scores were done. There was only a few teams that had a couple players left. Yes, they were key players, but the way I looked at it was the game was canceled. Therefore, the points were canceled. Therefore, no week 18 due to the fact that a lot of players are rested week 18. And, the scores would have been lopsided or different.
I remember that. Yeah, that was a big thing about like how people were just
they're like, what do we do next? Like, are they gonna replay it? Are they gonna? And I know that
Yeah.
like with Vegas, like it, but I guess they made the best decision. But yeah, there was like you
Yeah.
said, there was only a few people that were stuck in that.
Yeah, and then they're like pretty much for fantasy commissioners, just do whatever you guys want to do. So I was like, let's simplify it. You have two choices. There is no week 18. Week 17 ended, and these are the final scores. Option A is leave the league exactly how it is and the final scores and pay out accordingly to those final scores and final ranking. Like just leave it that way. Or option B, split the pots between first and second. So first and second would split that championship pot.
Okay.
Third and fourth. Oh my gosh, you found a really loud squeaker one. And then we had a turkey bowl for people that were in last place. That way they would actually play through the season and they could play each other for like $50 or whatever. And the majority of people voted A for just, leave it as is. So what I did, because I did the math and if you split the pot, I made $100 less. But if you kept the pot, he made like $300 less or something like that. And
Really?
I felt bad about the situation. So what I ultimately did was everyone pretty much voted A except for 3 people out of 12. I ended up splitting first place with the second place guy. And then it ended up counteractively fucking me because I didn't realize that he had a shit ton of wins and he had the most points in the league. So he actually made more money than me. So I was like, motherfucker, of course that would happen. Like I do the nice thing and then I end up getting paid less when I could have got paid a lot more. So but everyone was cool with it to the point where we already started talking about next year and
Right.
everyone's coming back and I've had this league for 9 years now. So
Oh, really?
yeah, it's
Nice.
pretty dope. And it's 12-person league, $160 buy-in. When we had a trophy that we distributed around, like I would mail it places, I used to make it like $170 buy-in to help like move the stuff around. But now I keep the trophies here and we just put like a little placard on it for like 50 cents a year or
That's
whatever.
badass.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think a
All
lot
right.
of people were ready for the season to be done. It was just wild. But
Yeah. No,
we do get the Super Bowl here.
I was going to say, like, are you working that night?
Um, no, as of right now, no. But I signed up for like kind of do some like walking around like hazmat stuff for the fire department thing. So we'll see. I
Yeah.
might be out there in presence, but
How cool would that be if you get to go? Like, just
right.
I'm here for safety. I'm not watching the game. I'm
I'm
not
on
here for
TV.
free.
Look at me.
Look at me. I'm mom, hi dad.
Yeah.
Dude, that's cool. Yeah, I keep forgetting the Super Bowl is actually
Yeah. I
here
was like,
this
we'll
year.
be involved somehow. Yeah. With
Yeah.
so.
Okay. Very cool. Well, is there anything else you boys want to talk about before we get into answer the internet?
No, I think this has been good conversation so far.
Yeah. Awesome. Was there any other questions or anything you want to plug or talk about before we
No,
get into
I
that?
think it was good to kind of talk about the stuff we did talk about, like kind of learn each other's backgrounds.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm excited. Definitely, if you come down next week, we'll have to figure
Yeah,
that out. So,
we'll trade contact info. I'll shoot you a follow on like Instagram and stuff when we after we wrap this up. But
sweet.
what we like to do now is we're gonna do answer the internet, which is just random fucked up questions. And then do us a favor, stick around at the very end because we usually take like a screenshot of our guests and us. All right, let's get into
Perfect.
this. For Gabe's family, who has thought that this has been kind of like a PG-13 or rated R podcast, this is the point where you should probably turn it off because this is where it goes to like a level of sometimes ethical questions, and it's an area that I tell my parents to not tune into. All right. How much money? First question: how much money would it take you to leave your wife? Holy shit!
These are like fire station questions. She's priceless, right? Is that?
Oh, look at that!
Hey, she stuck by me for 2 deployments and 2 kids and all this other stuff. She's supportive, so it's like, but I'll do it for $1 million. No, just kidding.
Ah!
No, not really.
No one can hear you, Austin. What are you saying? Nope, your mic's done.
I can see him.
I can
Maybe
see him
lip read
talking.
from.
Yeah. What have you
Looks like
done?
he's having. Yeah, that is that's a hard question.
Yeah, his mic's still not working. I guess I'll keep it going for now. Luckily, I
Well,
can still talk. Hopefully, he'll be back here in a minute. We'll just keep going with the questions. But for my answer, technically, I'm not married. I'm engaged right now. So, and
so
at any
yeah.
point, if Austin talks, like we'll say something. No, we still can't hear you. You just keep fucking with it, or you might have to like switch over and unplug and like talk through your speakers.
We'll translate for you.
Yeah. Nope, nothing. But this is going to annoy everyone else. So I'm just going to keep the questions going. All right, cool. So for me, my answer, Austin and I were talking about this the other night as a question. And I was like, man, I could take like a couple mil. That would be good. But if I'm being dead serious, I don't think I could do it either. And the reason why I say it is because it's taken me 40 years to find a person who I think gets me and I get her and
Exactly.
that I love very much, that I can picture the rest of my life with. We don't have kids. We're going to try to have kids hopefully here in the next within the next 2 years. And if we don't, like, the reason why we connected and everyone knows the story who tunes in is because we found each other through our dogs. Still nothing,
Oh,
Austin.
really?
Yeah, we found each other through Instagram, through our dogs. Both have the same type of dogs. We both do really well in our careers. So our plans are to travel and raise our dogs, right, and have a really happy life together. And money provides comfort, but
Exactly.
love from another person that truly cares about you and loves you is insurmountable to like how much that is worth. And I know that sounds
Exactly.
cheesy and corny, but like when you find like your person, it doesn't matter how much money is involved. Like I wouldn't want to sacrifice that to potentially
It's somebody
lose
that's
a
been by your
marriage.
side to help you watch and grow and
Yeah.
like all your successes and all your. Oh yeah, and it's like she's seen me like break down a few times on like you know when stuff hits you and like you could like, and it's just priceless, and it's like, but yeah, more money, more problems.
Yeah. No, it's and like especially for like how long have you guys been married?
It's going on 6 years in February
And
next year,
you
and then
guys
we've been
have
together
kids
for 10 years.
too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean like
So
that's huge. And in the career fields that you've chosen, like how it is, like it's not always easy to find that significant other that's willing to stick by your side or understand what you're going through. Nothing, Austin. um so hats off to her and hats off to you for you
thank
guys
you.
to like forming this relationship. We usually fuck around a lot in ATI, but I think like Austin's mic muted has actually been beneficial because we got to dive into how like I think at the end of the day, and I know he would say this about Jessica, his wife, all three of us, there's no amount of money that we would trade our significant others for. So, all right.
Yeah.
Enough with mushy stuff. Let's get into the next one. Would you rather be
Let's do
able to be able to hang on. Would you rather never be able to masturbate again or not be able to eat solid food again?
Oh, I think I have to
Oof.
cut the solid food out.
Oh shit. Austin's laughing. We'll translate for Austin. Actually, before we go too far, Austin, hold up a hand signal or type somewhere. How much money would it take for you to leave Jessica? Let's see what he says. He's typing.
Survey says
$200 million. Okay, Jessica has a price tag on her head. It was very specific and very sudden.
Yeah.
So like he had planned this out. He can't talk. This is actually awesome. I like this podcast a lot better with him.
200 million, and he gets the first round draft pick.
Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, and then Austin, would you rather never masturbate or be able to eat solid foods? Just type it. This is different and interesting. For me, while he's typing, dude, like, that's a tough one because, like, jerking off is, like, good for your mental health. I got it.
Yep.
I got it. I think I got it.
But
It's
then
got to be food.
Yeah.
I have to have solid foods. Austin's giving up solid food and switching to milkshakes for life. See, here's
we're gonna be eating mashed potatoes.
See, like, I've done celibacy for a little bit, like, like no jerk, like November or whatever. And I've been able to hold back for like 30, 40 days. I'm assuming, even when we're married, we're hopefully going to still enjoy having sex as much as we do now. I'm hoping. Or like, even if you tapered that back, there'll be enough in my sex life going on that maybe I can just be done with masturbating for a little bit and I can still have solid foods while you guys are just sipping protein shakes.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Would you rather every time you orgasm shout out "I love you, Mom," or "Long live the Queen" while saluting?
My mom would know that I love her.
No shit. So would your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love you, Mom.
Mama.
Mama.
Home.
Austin, what are you gonna do? Type it up while I answer. I'm gonna shout out "Long live the Queen" and salute. That's pretty fucking funny. Well, let's see what Austin's put. Long live the Queen for sure. Queen. Okay. Last question, and then we're gonna wrap this up because Austin's fucking mic sucks. Would you rather have sex only in pitch black darkness or in public places?
Ooh. I'd pick the public places. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty dope.
All
right.
Travel?
Anywhere from 1 to 3 public spots that you think would be dope to have sex with your wife, obviously.
Grand Canyon, obviously.
Canyon. Yeah, that's one.
Alaska, maybe on the top of I forget the name of that mountain.
Funny story. The dog that's my service dog, that's her full name. It's Elieska.
Oh, really?
Allie is short for Elieska, and that's the name of the mountain.
Yeah, I love that place. It was like
peaceful. Oh, it's so fucking beautiful out there.
And you can see like the Aleutian Islands. I remember.
Yeah. It's super dope out there. Okay, so you said Mount Elieska, apparently. Shit, my brain blanked. What was the first one?
And then we said what did I say? The Grand Canyon, obviously.
Grand Canyon, where I literally live. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't know they changed the name to Havasu.
Yeah, they did. They went PC with it. Okay, and then do you have a third one?
I would just do Vegas, right? Like the Strip. I think it's probably already accepted
at the
there.
Strip. On the Strip.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, you're married.
Just if you're gonna go public, might as well go all out.
I mean, that's probably one of the most public places besides like New York City,
Right?
Times Square. I think like that's the
Oh, I
only
didn't
place
think
that
about
could
that. That was
rival
a
it.
good one.
I mean, you can have it. You can have up to 5. So
Oh yeah, I
New
would
York
definitely do
City.
New York.
Okay.
Get the,
And then do
the
you got
Big
a fifth
Apple.
one in mind?
I don't know. It'd have to be some foreign country.
Foreign
I
country.
don't know. Iran.
Switzerland. Iran. Oh,
Just
jeez.
too soon.
Okay. All right. I really love the way Amanda looks, so like I can't do darkness. It's gonna be public areas.
Yeah, 100%.
Top 5, definitely Grand Canyon. That's a no-brainer, and that's something we look forward to doing. My ankle was broke when she was out here last time staying with me, but I think that's been on our agenda / to-do list for a while. I don't know if I could go as public as you. No, I don't think I could do New York City or the Strip. I might get performance anxiety.
Next to
Definitely,
Broadway.
definitely on in the mountains. Mountains would be one. Oh, you know, it'd be cool. Like at like Alyeska, going like snowboarding and then like going off to like one of the side like trails or whatever where it's like backcountry, doing it out
That's selling.
there. Yeah, and then probably just finding like cool places on hikes to fuck.
That'd be badass.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are my spots. Okay. Austin
America.
never came back with us. So I'm gonna wrap us up and then we'll stick around for a second or two. Unless is there anything, Gabe, that you wanna plug before I close us out?
No. Thanks for having me on. Definitely check us out at rahcoffeecompany.com and then at Rah Coffee Co on Instagram. And then
Okay.
kind of if you guys have any questions or anything about what we do, or if you have a story you want to share, we're always looking for people to kind of share their stories. So
Yeah, definitely. We'll try to send people your way and we'll give you the podcast info after all this is done. That way you can share it amongst friends and family.
perfect.
All right, cool. I'm gonna wrap up by saying that Save Our Six in February and/or Vigilant and Humble should be back up and running, and we should be getting ready for our March for Miles event that's going to come up. We'll be looking to work with companies. Maybe we can talk to you, Gabe, because we usually do a giveaway for our top female and our top male person to do the March for Miles. And yeah, other than that, just please follow, subscribe, share our podcast. I need to start fucking remember saying that at the beginning. I need to start remembering that. We talked about that. All right. Anyways, thank you for joining us, Gabe. We greatly appreciate you. We all have enjoyed the last 20 minutes of this podcast where Austin didn't talk. They said thank you and peace. All right.